Welcome back everybody to Military Surplus Bros. We have another basic beginner's guide here for you today. Here before you can see a SCCY Industries box. And yes, that's not military surplus, but you know what? These beginner guides videos get a lot of views, and you know what? If I can earn myself an extra box of ammo every month, I'm not going to complain too much. So anyway, some of you guys may be aware, maybe you're not, I don't know, that I do work at a, let's just say a gun store. I won't tell you exactly specifically which one or where, but wink wink nod nod, if you watch for my wristband in the video, you probably figure out what chain it is. Now, we do see a lot of new guns in there. We don't really sell a lot of older guns in our particular store. One that we do see come through a lot, on top of the Bersa that we've already done a review on, and probably some that we'll do in the future, like Taurus G2Cs, G2Ss, that kind of thing. One that we do see come through the store a lot is a SCCY CPX-2 9mm. So here we see that. I've owned this one for quite a long time, so the box is not in the greatest condition. I don't know if you could say that boxes have patina or something, but this one has not, not done well. I think that's actually how it's shipped. I didn't specifically do that to mine, but there you are. It is a pretty nice cardboard box, so they do give you warnings both in English and in Spanish if you happen to need those. They do provide in the box a nice full color instruction manual. Now this does cover the CPX-1 and 2 models. Just to give you an idea of the print quality, it is actually a really nice full color manual. They're going to give you all your lawyer speak at the front there, all your warnings and advertencias in Spanish. Operating instructions, they're going to give you a whole component name list and this kind of thing. Let's see, they'll explain the manual safety if you happen to have the CPX-1. They're going to talk about all of how the gun generally works in here. How to insert and remove magazines, checking the chamber for ammunition, slide hold opens. A lot of the stuff you're going to see in this video today is kind of covered in here. It talks about failure to feeds or ejects, adjusting the rear sight, disassembly for cleaning. Again, you're going to see all this, but it's all laid out there for you if you really want to read it in the manual. Who really reads manuals anymore? They get reassembly, cleaning and oiling, etc., etc., etc. They talk about the lock and this kind of thing. They have a warranty statement in there. Where you can call for replacement parts, although this has got a lifetime warranty, so I'm not sure why you would buy parts from them, but hey, up to you. Even if you want to do a frame breakdown, they can do that. They give you a nice exploded view there of even the internal slide mechanisms, which is kind of neat. And then you've got a glossary and a nice overall a nice manual, all color. It's something you actually don't see a lot of from even some of your really top-end manufacturers. Certainly Ruger doesn't do theirs all in color. To my last recollection, Glock does not, but I could be wrong about that now, I don't know. They also give you a warranty card, so they do have a no questions asked warranty with all CPX guns. They used to have this warranty where if your gun got stolen, they would actually replace it for you if you could provide them with a police report, although I believe they have stopped doing that for understandable reasons. They no longer do that. And then there was, I think at one point here, they've also included a card for some holsters and lasers and that kind of thing. I don't know if they do that now, I have no idea. They did include in my particular production model, this is from 2016, a fired case. I believe Maryland or Massachusetts or somebody required that you actually send these into the police department at one point. I don't know if they're doing that with all their guns anymore, but there it is. You do get some replaceable base plates with the gun. These are for flat base plates, so you see the one that's in here is a bit of an extended finger pinky grip situation. If you really want the flat base plates, you can have those. I have never used them. I don't generally carry this gun a whole lot. So having a thinner, smaller profile gun just by that half an inch or quarter of an inch has really never concerned me that much. All right, but you have those if you want them. Now, in the box itself, other than the manuals and all the accoutrements, you have one extra magazine, which is nice of them. 10 rounders. Both of the magazines provided with the gun are 10 rounders. I'm going to pull the gun up out of the box here, clear it. It is empty. You can see no rounds in the chamber there. We'll take the mag magazine out. Again, you've got two 10-round magazines. It was nice of them to provide, and we're going to go ahead and pull the keys for the lock out of there. So I'm going to set the box aside just so that we have a little bit more working space here. And I think I'll also set all of our extra accessories over here. So like I said, two 10-round magazines. These appear to be Sky production magazines. I'm not aware that anybody else is making them for Sky, but there they are. Like I said, they do provide a child safety lock with the gun, and it does come in the box with the lock on. To remove that is very simple. You've got a set of 2 keys. They are numbered, so if you want to make a note of which number you have, you can do that. It's a single letter number code, and if you ever happen to lose your keys, you can always call Sky up and they can provide you with a set of keys once you provide ownership and information, this kind of thing. You're going to turn the lock this way, and the lock should come open on its own. Kind of a half clamshell on either side, locks together. You can lock that back together like that, and if you're me, you throw this away or you put it in the box and let it stay there forever, and you never use that because, quite frankly, I don't have kids and I don't have to worry about anybody hurting themselves with my guns. But it is a nice thing that Sky decided to turn those in there with the box, so if you would like to use that, it certainly is an option. But I've got an entire drawer full of these locks and keys and this kind of things that I don't use because I have a safe and I don't keep my guns in my box or in places where someone who should not be accessing them has access to it. But in any case, here is again just the gun and the 2 magazines. Again, you want to safety check your pistol. You've got no rounds there, you've got no magazine. It's pretty hard to have a problem there. You can actually see through the gun. There are a lot of companies that will actually provide you with locks that go through here, and that pretty well safes it as well. But Sky has gone with the whole trigger lock thing, but hey, that's up to them. In any case, let's say you want to disassemble your gun. Say you want to do maintenance, you want to clean. And certainly that's a reasonable thing for you to do. Certainly if you've been to the range, as you should. You're going to want to clean your gun. I like to clean my guns every time I shoot them, but that's kind of up to you. You're going to take a magazine, again, empty magazine, no rounds there, and lock your gun open, okay? Just as you would with any other semi-automatic firearm. If you want to drop the slide, say you're shooting, or you want to just close the gun up, you can press this little slide release there. That'll close your gun and you're in business. But again, since we're taking it apart, we're going to lock it back. When you take your gun apart, this is very simple on the CPX-2. CPX-1s work exactly the same way, so if you happen to have that model, this is exactly the same. You have one basically thing you've got to do once you've locked the gun back. You're going to pull this pin right here out of the gun. It just comes in and out of this hole here. Now you'll note that the magazine is very helpful, an empty magazine is very helpful because it's going to let you lock it back in this position. You can put that pin back in, you can take it out. This is very similar to the Kel-Tec P11, if you're familiar with that system. It works exactly the same way. And in fact, that part, I'm actually fairly convinced is exactly the same, as are a lot of the other parts. The magazines actually even interchange in those guns. But anyway, once you've got that cross pin out of the gun, you're going to close the slide slowly, unless you want to really launch it across your room, which I guess you can do if you want. You can go for distance records or whatever, but it is under some spring pressure, so you're going to want to watch that. You can pull the slide directly off the gun. It does not require you to pull the trigger, which is actually kind of a nice, thoughtful safety endeavor there by Sky, and for that matter Kel-Tec, since the guns work exactly the same way. Don't lose that cross pin. You're going to need it later to put the gun back together, and for general function of the gun, you just don't want to lose it. So now you've got 2 separate halves. You're going to go ahead and do away with your magazine there. We'll set that to the side. We won't need that to reassemble the gun or anything else later, but if you're going to shoot, obviously you want those, so we'll put those off there. Alright, now for further disassembly, you're going to take the remaining portion. This one's actually completely field stripped. You don't have to really take this down any further than you already have. You get in here with some nice gun oil or cleaner. I prefer Hornady One Shot. Spray in here, clean the rails, clean inside the upper frame here, clean the hammer, do whatever it is that you feel like you gotta do. If you see any carbon fouling, go ahead and take care of that. This one's not 100% clean, I'm not actually sure the last time that we cleaned it. You know, this is kind of one of those backup guns, one of those guns that I've used, but you know, it's been reliable and I haven't had to worry about it. So it's relatively clean. I'm not going to go ahead and clean it for you on video, but you know, there's lots of videos on YouTube explaining how to clean handguns. So that part's up to you. Now, anyway, for the disassembly, all you're going to do is you're going to take your captive spring here, push that forward like that, and lift up. That should just drop out there. Again, hold on to that for later. You're going to press your barrel kind of up. If you want to actually press down here, you can. It'll press it up and out. This is a Browning, you know, lock system, very similar to a Glock or most Smith and Wesson MMPs and really Tauruses and practically, you know, 90% of the handguns that are on the market today. So you'll press up on there. It'll disengage its locking mechanism here. You kind of compress it out the front here, and then you can take this and lift it up and out of the gun, and that'll take it out of the system entirely. So that is your fully field stripped gun. Again, if you want to get in here with some cleaner and oil and this kind of thing, wipe it down, take some of that carbon fouling out of there, you can. So that's as far as you really have to take the gun down. Clean it, do whatever you need to do, clean through the barrel, put some spritz in there and take care of it. Once you want to put your gun back together, it's very simple. It's just a reverse operation. You're going to take your barrel. You'll note, by the way, and this is useful for later, and if I have to throw in a photo, I can later. There's kind of a half moon cut here. That's important for how you put your spring in, but we'll come to that in a second. You're going to take your barrel, place it down through that hole. You're going to note that it will tilt through like that, and you're going to just pull it back to its original lock position and press it down. Once you've got it all the way down here, not tilted up but down, you can leave that there. You're going to take your captive recoil spring here. It's got two sides that are very distinct. You've got one flat side. Note that there's no profile on this at all. It's just flat. And then you've got another side which does have a little dot. We're going to use the real technical term, doot. That's your recoil spring guide coming through here. You're going to take that side that does have a little dot on the end of it and press that to the front end of your slide. Okay. It's going to come through here. You'll note that it actually will press through there if you're really careful and don't want to throw it across your room. You've got a little bit of spring pressure there. And you're going to take the flat end and actually set it down in that half moon cutout that we discussed earlier. Once that's flat in there and all the way down in there, you should be good to go ahead and put it back on the frame. So this upper portion is finished here. You can then take, you've actually got two cutouts on either side of the slide here and here on either side. Those will match up with the rails which are on either side of the pistol there. You can see those, one here and one on the other side. And those just kind of dovetail into each other. So you're going to take that there and place them back together like so. Sometimes it's a little difficult if you don't quite put the spring in a way that it doesn't want to go back together, but you're literally just going to slide them back together like that. Lock the gun, well, I say this, lock the gun open. You want to make sure that the barrel does come out. There you go. Okay, like that. Lock it open. As long as you've got some barrel protruding there, you're in a good way. Then you're going to take your cross pin. This is very simple. You just kind of make sure that you've got a hole there where the barrel, you can see through the barrel in this little cutout here. You're going to take your protruding end. There's actually a little bit of an extra like fingernail pull here, I guess, if you want to look at it that way. You're going to put that downward and then through the pinhole here. And it just takes a little bit of jiggling there. And then you'll make sure that that portion there goes in. Thank you, phone. Okay. It's a good time for an alarm there. But in any case, you have the gun fully reassembled there, now back together. So you can just close the slide here, and you've got a fully functional CPX-2. If you want to recheck again, magazine function, you can there. Press again, place a empty magazine in, it should lock open like that. Again, no rounds there. And you have, again, reassembled CPX-2. I do find these guns are very reliable, generally speaking. You know, we have the occasional failure, as you would with any pistol, but the magazines are well made. The handgun generally seems to be well made. It's got a lifetime warranty. Not that I've ever had to use it, but it is there. It does, I guess the one negative that I can really say about the gun, again, empty here, is that it has a very long, heavy trigger pull, and it will have that every single time you shoot. Does not matter if you have cycled the gun or not. There is really no discernible shorter reset. It's going to be that full length trigger every single time. It does have a set of white 3-dot sights, so those are nice actually, especially if you don't want to play the ball and cup game as they call it with the Glock, the U-notch and the front dot. Everything seems to be pretty well produced here. And if you like this kind of video, like and subscribe. Let me know you want to see more. I do have access to a lot of your kind of entry-level carry guns, that kind of thing. But this has been a beginner's guide to the CPX-2 from SCCY Industries out of Daytona Beach, Florida. Thanks guys, have a good one.